When life begins to shake, when everything around you starts to shift, it's easy to feel like you've been dropped, forgotten, or overlooked. But I came to remind you this morning, you are still in the hands of God. You're not out of control. You're under divine control. Even when it feels like everything you built is falling apart, the truth is, God is holding the pieces. His grip on your life is stronger than the grip of your problems. You didn't get this far by accident, and you won't be lost by mistake. He still has you in his hands. There are moments in life when the enemy tries to convince you that God has let go, that your delay means you've been denied, that your silence means God's done speaking. But what if I told you the delay is divine? What if I told you that God didn't forget you? He's just preparing you. Some of the greatest blessings in your life come wrapped in waiting. While you're wondering when, God is working on how. You may think it's taking too long, but he's building something that won't collapse under pressure. Every not yet is a get ready. You think you're stuck, but you're being strengthened. What you call waiting, God calls working. And when you wake up in the morning, before you check your phone, before you open your messages, you need to command your morning. You don't react to the day. You declare it, because your words carry weight in the spirit realm. You don't wake up and see how you feel. You wake up and say how it will be. Today is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. You command your peace. You command your progress. You command your purpose. You speak life before life speaks to you. The world doesn't get to tell you who you are. Heaven already decided that you can't pray fear-based prayers and expect faith-filled results. Too many people pray like they're begging a reluctant God instead of commanding from the authority he already gave them. Faith doesn't ignore reality. It declares a higher reality. You may see lack, but you declare abundance. You may see sickness, but you declare healing. You may see delay, but you declare destiny. Faith says it's already done. And the moment you speak it, heaven begins to move. God responds to the sound of faith. Your breakthrough isn't waiting on your situation. It's waiting on your declaration. There's purpose in your pain. The same God who allows breaking also promises building. Every broken season has divine intention. Don't curse the breaking. It's the birthplace of your becoming. When you think God is breaking you down, he's actually building you up. Brokenness is not your burial. It's your construction site. The tears you've cried are watering the soil of your next season. The doors that closed were never meant to confine you. They were meant to redirect you. God doesn't waste wounds. He transforms them into weapons. The same storm that came to destroy you is the storm that will carry you into destiny. So don't be afraid of where you are right now. Don't be ashamed of what you're going through. God's hands are still on you, and his grip never fails. Even if you slipped, you didn't fall beyond his reach. You may feel forgotten, but heaven knows your coordinates. His plan didn't end because of your mistake. His mercy is still active. His purpose is still intact. You're not finished. You're being refined. And when God is done, you'll look back and realize everything that tried to break you only built you into who you were meant to be. So this morning, lift your head, square your shoulders, and declare this with power. God still has me in his hands. No weapon formed against me will prosper. I am not defeated. I am developed. I am not broken, I am being built. I am not lost, I am led. Command your morning with authority. Speak over your life until heaven agrees with your words, because you are not walking alone. You're walking with the one who holds galaxies in his hands. And if he can hold the stars in place, he can hold your life together. Nothing slipped through his fingers. You are still in his plan. You are still in his purpose. You are still in his hands. So rise this morning and walk like someone covered by the Creator. Speak like someone chosen by destiny. Pray like someone whose faith moves mountains. Because no matter what the enemy whispers, God still has you in his hands. When life feels like it's spinning faster than you can handle, when everything you counted on starts slipping through your fingers, it's easy to feel powerless. You start to wonder, where is God in all of this? But the truth is, he never left. He's still in control, even when nothing seems to make sense. You see, we often measure God's presence by our comfort. When life feels smooth, we think he's close. When it gets hard, we assume he's gone. But God's control is not limited by your emotions or circumstances. He doesn't lose power when you lose peace. He doesn't step back when things get chaotic. In fact, he often does his best work in the middle of what looks like a mess. When the wind blows, the storm rages, and you feel like your plans are falling apart. Remember, what's out of your hands is still in his. Your disappointments, your delays, your detours, none of them caught him off guard. God doesn't panic when your plans fall apart. He uses them to bring his plan together. The problem is we want to understand everything before we trust him. But God doesn't ask for your understanding. He asks for your faith. You don't have to see what he's doing to know that he's doing something. Sometimes God will let you lose control just to remind you who's really in charge, not to hurt you, but to free you from the illusion that you ever had control in the first place. Because the moment you release your grip, you make room for his hand. The moment you stop trying to manage everything, you start to experience his mastery. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to rest in the one who already does. When you can't trace his hand, trust his heart. When you can't see what he's doing, believe what he's promised. He's not figuring it out as he goes. He already wrote the ending before you saw the beginning. Life may feel out of control, but it's never out of God's control. He's not reacting to your situation. He's orchestrating it. Every moment, every turn, every unexpected change is part of a divine design that's leading you somewhere greater. So stop panicking over what you can't control and start praising the one who can, because when life feels unstable, God remains unshakable. When your plans collapse, his purpose still stands. And even when your world feels like it's falling apart, heaven is still holding you together. You are not lost. You are led. You are not forgotten. You are guided. God's hand hasn't left you. It's leading you through the storm into your next season. Sometimes it feels like God is taking too long. You've prayed, you've believed, you've done everything right, yet the door still hasn't opened. And you start to wonder, did God forget about me? But the truth is, delay is not denial. It's divine preparation. God's silence is not his absence, it's his strategy. What you think is a setback is often a setup for something bigger than you could have imagined. God's timing isn't random, it's refined. He doesn't move when you're ready, he moves when you're prepared. Every delay you experience is shaping you, stretching you, and strengthening you for the promise. If God gave you everything you prayed for right now, would you have the capacity to carry it? He's not trying to punish you. He's trying to prepare you, because blessings you're not ready for can become burdens that break you. So while you're asking God for acceleration, he's giving you alignment. While you're asking for results, he's building your resilience. He's teaching you how to handle the weight of what you've been praying for. The waiting season is where your faith matures. It's where you learn to trust God, not because of what you see, but because of who he is. It's in the waiting that he removes what's weak and builds what's strong. Don't despise the process. It's proof that purpose is being formed. Every time you think nothing is happening, heaven is actually working behind the scenes. God's delays are never wasted. They're divine training grounds for destiny. Think about it. Every great promise in Scripture came after a period of waiting. Joseph waited in prison before he ruled in the palace. David waited in the wilderness before he wore the crown. Even Jesus waited 30 years before stepping into public ministry. Waiting doesn't mean nothing's happening. It means something holy is happening. The delay is not God ignoring you, it's God investing in you. So instead of asking, why is it taking so long? Start asking, what is God building in me while I wait? Because when the time comes, you won't just receive the blessing, you'll be ready to sustain it. When the promise finally arrives, you'll realize the waiting wasn't wasted, it was necessary. You'll see that the delay was divine, that every detour was direction, and that the hand of God was never late. It was right on time. Every morning when you wake up, there's a battle waiting for your attention. The moment your eyes open, the world is ready to command your thoughts. Notifications, worries, distractions, and doubts all start fighting for first place in your mind. But before the world has a chance to speak, you've got to speak first. You've got to command your morning, because if you don't set the atmosphere of your day, the world will set it for you. And you can't afford to start your day on defense. You've got to start on offense. When you wake up, you're not just waking to another day. You're stepping into an opportunity to declare who you are and where you're going. You have authority over your atmosphere. Your words create your world. The things you say when you rise set the direction for everything that follows. That's why you can't start your day complaining or scrolling through comparison. You have to open your mouth and set the tone. Today is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. I am favored. I am focused. I am walking in purpose. You speak what you expect, not what you feel. Too many people start their day reacting to circumstances instead of creating them. But power is released when you speak with intention. Heaven responds to faith-filled declarations. When you declare peace, peace starts forming around you. When you declare focus, distractions start losing power. When you declare abundance, lack has to leave. Every word you speak carries spiritual weight. You don't just talk about your day, you command it. This is not about empty positivity. It's about spiritual authority. God gave you the power to frame your day with your tongue. You can speak life or death, victory or defeat, clarity or confusion. So when you rise, rise as a commander. Speak to your atmosphere like it's waiting for orders, because it is. Tell your day what it's going to be before it tries to tell you what it's not. Declare strength before weakness shows up. Declare purpose before problems appear. Declare gratitude before frustration knocks at your door. The way you start your morning determines the way your day unfolds. The words you speak when the sun rises are seeds that grow as the day goes on. If you plant faith in the morning, you'll reap peace by evening. So don't give the world permission to direct your mindset. Don't let fear, stress, or doubt decide how your day will go. Command your morning with conviction. Speak with power. Pray with purpose. Because when you set heaven's order at sunrise, the world has no choice but to follow. There comes a point in life when you have to decide which voice you're going to listen to. The voice of faith or the voice of fear. Fear will always whisper reasons to quit, to hesitate, to stay small, to doubt that God can still do it. Faith, on the other hand, will whisper, move anyway, trust anyway, speak anyway. Both voices exist inside you, but only one deserves the microphone. Fear may come, but it doesn't have to command you when you let faith speak louder than fear. You activate the power of heaven over the noise of your circumstances. Fear talks about what's possible without God. Faith declares what's possible because of God. Fear focuses on the obstacle. Faith focuses on the outcome. Fear sees the storm and says, this is too much. Faith looks at the same storm and says, peace, be still. The difference isn't the size of the problem, it's the volume of your belief. You can't let fear narrate your story when faith was meant to write it. Every time fear says, what if it doesn't work? Faith needs to answer, what if it does? When fear says you're not qualified, faith responds, God already called me. When fear says you can't handle it, faith declares, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. You don't overcome fear by pretending it doesn't exist. You overcome it by outspeaking it. Because what you consistently speak, you eventually see. You can't pray fear-based prayers and expect faith-filled results. A fearful prayer says, Lord, don't let me fail. A faith-filled prayer says, Lord, use me for your glory. One prays from panic, the other prays from purpose. You have to train your spirit to speak faith even when your feelings don't agree, because faith isn't about denying reality. It's about declaring a greater reality. It's choosing to believe that what God said is truer than what you see. Fear is loud, but faith is powerful. Fear tries to freeze you, but faith forces you to move. Fear says, stay safe, but faith says, step out. Fear says, what if you fall? But faith says, what if you fly? The sound of faith shifts atmospheres, breaks barriers, and silences doubt. When you speak faith, you remind every situation that God still reigns, that his promise still stands, and that his power is not limited by your pressure. So the next time fear tries to take over your mind, open your mouth and let faith speak. Declare what God said until your heart believes it. Say it until your atmosphere aligns with it. Because when faith speaks louder than fear, miracles start to move. Heaven responds. Doors open. And what once terrified you becomes the testimony that strengthens you. There are seasons in life that break you to your core. Moments when it feels like everything you've built is collapsing, when nothing makes sense, when all you can do is hold on and hope there's purpose in the pain, and there is, because God never wastes a broken season. What feels like destruction is often construction. What looks like the end is actually the beginning of something greater. God uses broken seasons to build strong foundations. When God allows breaking, it's not to destroy you, it's to develop you. He breaks what's weak to reveal what's strong. He removes what's temporary to build what's eternal. Sometimes you have to lose your comfort to discover your calling. You have to be stripped of what's familiar so you can stand on what's firm. It's in those broken seasons that God starts laying new foundations, foundations of faith, character, humility, and strength. The same storm that shakes you is the one that solidifies what you believe. We want growth without breaking, promotion without pruning, and strength without struggle. But without pressure, there is no power. Without breaking, there is no breakthrough. You can't build a skyscraper on shallow soil. If God is taking you deeper, it's because he's preparing to take you higher. He's digging beneath the surface of your life to remove what can't sustain the weight of your destiny. Every tear you've cried, every disappointment you faced, every trial you've endured, it's all part of the foundation he's laying. God doesn't break things. He doesn't plan to rebuild stronger. When you see something fall apart, remember, he's not done yet. The same God who allowed the breaking is the same God who will do the building. And when he rebuilds, it's always better. You'll realize that the pain that once felt unbearable became the pressure that produced purpose. The cracks you see are not proof of weakness. They're evidence that something greater is taking shape beneath the surface. Brokenness has a way of revealing what truly matters. It removes pride, exposes dependency, and forces you to lean on God in ways you never did before. When you've been broken and rebuilt by his hands, you come out unshakable. You come out stronger, wiser, and more grounded in who you are and whose you are. So don't despise your broken season. Don't rush out of it. Let God finish what he started. Because when he's done, you'll realize the breaking wasn't your ending, it was your becoming. He's not trying to bury you, he's building you. The same hands that allowed the breaking are the hands now building a foundation that cannot be moved. And when the next storm comes, you'll stand firm. Not because life got easier, but because your foundation got stronger. Even when everything feels uncertain, even when you've made mistakes, fallen short, or lost your way, you are still in God's hands. His grip on you has never loosened. You may have slipped, but you didn't fall beyond his reach. Life may have shaken you, but heaven never lost sight of you. God's grip is stronger than your struggle, and his plan is bigger than your pain. Nothing you've done can disqualify you from his purpose, and nothing you've gone through can separate you from his love. You are still in his hands, and his grip never fails. Sometimes it feels like God let go because things didn't go as planned. You prayed, you believed, and yet the outcome looked nothing like what you expected. But God's hands don't drop what they designed. Just because you don't see his hand doesn't mean he's not holding you. There are moments when he hides his hand so you'll learn to trust his heart. You may not understand how this chapter fits into your story, but one day you'll look back and realize his hand was guiding you the entire time. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are being carried through what was meant to crush you. When life feels heavy, remember, his hands are the same hands that shaped creation, calmed storms, opened blind eyes, and lifted people from graves. If his hands can hold the universe together, they can hold your life together too. His grip doesn't weaken under pressure. His hand doesn't tremble under your weight. He's not overwhelmed by your situation. He's already working through it. There are things you've been through that should have broken you, but you're still standing. That's proof of his hand. There are moments when you didn't know how you'd make it, yet somehow you did. That's his grip. Every battle you survived, every tear you cried, every night you didn't think you'd get through. God's hand was on you the entire time. His grace held you up when strength failed. His mercy covered you when mistakes followed. His love never let you go. You might not know where your next step is, but you don't have to, because the one who holds you knows the way. You may feel lost, but heaven knows exactly where you are. God doesn't lose track of his children. His grip doesn't slip. His promise doesn't fade. You are safe in his hands even when you don't understand his plan. So lift your head and take a deep breath. You're not falling apart. You're being held together. The same God who started the work in you is faithful to complete it. You are not in free fall. You are in divine hands, and those hands never fail, never fumble, and never forget. God still has you, and that's all you need to know. When you step back and look at everything you've walked through, the moments of chaos, the waiting, the uncertainty, the breaking, you'll realize something powerful. God never let go. Every storm that tried to shake you only pushed you closer to him. Every delay that frustrated you was actually preparing you. Every broken season that hurt you was building something stronger within you. From the beginning to now, you've never been outside his hand. You see, God doesn't promise us a life without struggle. He promises us strength in the middle of it. He doesn't promise the absence of storms, but he promises his presence in the storm. And if you can hold on to that truth, you'll stop seeing your pain as punishment and start seeing it as preparation. You'll realize that what felt like an ending was just a setup for a greater beginning. So as you rise each morning, command your day with faith. Don't speak from fear, speak from power. Don't react to what the world throws at you. Declare what heaven has already said about you. You are chosen, you are covered, and you are carried. Your faith must be louder than your fear, your declaration stronger than your doubt, and your trust deeper than your understanding. This is your reminder. You are still in God's hands. His grip has never slipped. His plan has never failed. He's still working, still guiding, still holding you together, even when life feels like it's falling apart. So walk in confidence, not because everything is perfect, but because you know who's in control. You are in divine hands, the same hands that built the universe, calmed the sea, and wrote your destiny. The world may shake, but you won't be shaken. The path may twist, but you won't be lost, because the one who holds your tomorrow is the same one holding you right now, and his grip never fails.